Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another demo review video, and we've got a pretty interesting one today, if I'm going to be completely honest. We're actually revisiting a player that we looked at somewhat recently. We had a look at flameZ about 4 months ago on this channel when he just kind of joined up with the endpoint side. He had a pretty good performance on Inferno against K23, if I can remember that video coming through. And I suppose sort of knowing that we've casted, or at least I've casted a fair bit of flameZ as of late, a great opportunity to kind of be able to revisit the whole topic and see exactly what he's going to be able to achieve going further into the forward. We saw that only this morning OG played Astralis and got a 2-0 victory. Probably surprised a lot of people, knowing that Nico's only been on the team for a little bit and flameZ is on debut today. So a lot of people going into that game probably had some high expectations, perhaps trying to see what flameZ has got to offer. And we do know on Inferno what we're going to be looking at this first map of the best of 3 series picked in by OG. They were able to win it 16-7. Had a pretty decent T side, and for flameZ in particular, while his stats weren't massively great for him, he dropped 11 kills in total over that map. One of the more lower rated players on the server for OG in that first map of the series, but it will still be very interesting to see the spots that he's playing, the kind of role maybe change between OG and endpoint, because for flameZ, you know, we saw him in the Israeli scene a little bit. We saw him playing with the Tick Attackin' guys, the mixed team, had a bit of a stint playing on endpoint for a few months as a really sort of hot signing, and now moving over to OG, things look on the up for flameZ. But what better way to kind of see exactly how his performances are going to be, but to have a look straight into the demo. So, starting off on Inferno, it wasn't, like, statistically the better map for flameZ in the best of 3. It actually performed better on Dust 2. But I kind of want to look at Inferno because it is OG's map pick, and it is, like, the first map on debut as well for flameZ, so I think that could be quite intriguing. Okay. Actually swap over the Mac 10 to flameZ and give Alexi B back the Galil. Maybe if flameZ wants to go for a bit more of an entry setup. Being relatively quiet about this this setup towards the banana position, like not many players are making footsteps. Nade stack. Up towards the second Orange's position. If anyone was playing there from the city side, they would have been a goner for sure. Some well-placed nades, just unfortunately not being held by the CTs at that moment of time. And pretty much the same pistol setup in terms of positioning from Astralis. This time around, though, it's Glaive over towards a B side, but just playing one player out from CT. First and second Oranges Molly being lined up by flameZ. Glaive actually finding that first pick. Good timing of peeking out for the CT smoke. And flameZ's just trying to get an entry out towards the site, clear out all of the angles. Look out towards the flower pots is very important. Can almost be a position sometimes that gets overlooked and maybe like a bit of a careless check, but just making sure as he gets up from that pull position and tries to cross out from Coffins, and he's actually checking that angle just in case. Bit of a spam coming through out towards the Coffins position. One plant starting to get stuck here from Alexi B. They've still got to lurk up towards brackets. More players falling here for the T side, so this post plant's actually looking kind of weak. Maybe they can have a lurk coming through from Valde and CT Spawn, depending on the rotations. flameZ going forward out towards first Oranges, making sure that he picks up that AK from his fallen teammate. Try and reposition out towards Nubox. Bow smoke's just starting to dissipate now for the Ts. Flashes coming through. Oh, good peek out from the Nubox position. Actually lines up too. Decent timing on that swing. Looking in for a little bit more spam coming through, and now they've got mad advantage 3v2. Astralis probably just thinking about the save at this point. Yeah, good lineup. And peeking while he hears that utility being used out from CT. And round pretty much just gets secured by that 2k. Even going for a little bit more of a hunt, making that round more expensive from the CTs. They were just trying to hold on to 2 players at Device and Dupree looking to save, and eventually comes down to a position where even going into round 3, they don't really have a lot of weaponry to work with, just that single shotgun. Molly coming out to check the sandbags. Decent crosshair placement, waiting for the CTs to run out. Flash over the top, try and peek with it up towards CT. They know that the AWP is there straight away. Okay, actually reads that setup relatively well. We see that straight away flameZ's tries to take the duel out towards his CT player, realizes that there's a player there and he's forced to device off angle, and then instead of like holding that angle for long enough, he starts to readjust his crosshair placement out towards that left-hand side, expecting a little bit of a slow walk or a bit of a push to come through from Astralis, catches off bubzkji as that flash comes in over the top, gets blinded after the kill comes out. And working with a 5-on-4, this is a great advantage for the T's to work with. They can now start to regroup, take brackets by themselves, and only need to deal with 2 players on A. This time around, he's actually got the best spawn out of anyone on his team up towards Banana, so I'll be interested to see if he actually takes the approach to go quite aggro. And yeah, he does. Straight away, Molly coming through, flash over the top. Doesn't even tank the nades. Like, it seemed like flameZ got hit pretty hard with that nade stack, coming down to 40 points of health, but flameZ pretty much evades the majority of it. Still does take a bit. Lurk smoke coming down just in front of the default position here. That actually probably forces Device to fall back a little bit with the AWP, try and reposition. Ooh, that was actually quite a wide angle being held from flameZ, and Glaive just wants to shoulder bait, just try and see if he can get a bit of a swing in from CT, and maybe doesn't expect that angle to be as wide as it actually was, so good positioning to come through from the mistake from Glaive. It's just been countless times now. This probably been the second time in the first 7 rounds now that flameZ's actually been the one to find the opening man advantage and put themselves in a 5-on-4. They're just trying to wait for the CTs to make a mistake. Like, they've got a 5-on-4. They're waiting for an overpush. They're waiting for some aggression, and it looks like it's already come towards that banana position. You just see for the CTs too, like, Glaive is pushed aggressively, and there's no one that's really in rotating positions. Like, if bubzkji was playing arch deep, maybe he could be a bit quicker towards B. Even for Moto, he's in a decent position, but with only one player at B, if Glaive falls, the site's pretty much open. It could be an instant save. AWP baited out. flameZ reading that. Just a great adjustment coming through from Glaive. And now B-side's completely opened up. Flash comes in. They're clearing out all their angles. Maybe hoping or expecting there to be a bit of a bait play, like a bit of a bait and switch. Not quite the case. bubzkji's come on rotation. And for OG, just like a simple set piece towards the B-side should be an easy round victory for him. Damn, he's crispy, man. He's really crispy. Flash over the top, trying to entry once again, and even though bubzkji finds that first kill onto aleXiB, how quickly he's able to adjust back over towards CT. Couple of kills in the round, bomb site completely open. What a round from flameZ. Ooh, AWP peeks back in. That's a decent shot onto aleXi. Rotations haven't actually come back from the city side, though. Cross smokes out from long. Library and arch. Running in towards the side, Device has just got his back turned, and, well, that would have been an easy kill for both flameZ or Valde. It's Valde that comes out on top. Now, in this position, like, 17 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, you've been able to deal with Device and Magist, but you're still just wanting to clear out the side just in case there is, like, a third player just lurking around. Pick up a little bit more utility. Maybe expecting someone to be in towards that pit position. That's where there's a couple of eyes on here for the T's. flameZ now looking back up for the apartments for a quick rotate. Or even if someone was playing in the apartments and was like that aggressive player that was just being a bait. Matu gets a pick out from library. Now man advantage gets found back over for the T side. And in this position, like, whenever you're in a 3vx, on an A-site post plant, you just got to be making sure that, like, for flameZ, he doesn't need to, like, overswing, doesn't need to take jewels, he just needs to be holding the crossfire, and that's what all of the T-side are doing between one another, is they're making sure that they're holding the right angles at the right time. And even for flameZ, well, doesn't seem like he finds any impact into the round, holding that position out from the apartments, in case there was someone looking to come in from that area, could have made a big difference. Okay, they've heard a little bit of noise in terms of footsteps. They've heard the early util, so this could be a good moment to get the flash out. Molly's come out towards sandbags too. Little bit late here from flameZ for me. Flash over. Second one as well. I actually like that. You don't see that very often. So the first flash comes over the top. It's going to blind pretty much everyone towards the top of Banana. But then when the CT side players of Nico and aleXiB swing wide out towards Carve, there's actually a secondary flash that peeks behind them over the top of of the B-site roof. That's something you don't see very often. The T's are so blind, but I think in with all of the smokes towards the top of Banana, it's just not helping them. Or is it? Nico gets a couple of kills with the CZ. But just trades back, and Nico gets a 3k. How does that happen? I don't know. And now GoTV is just wonky. Thinking about putting a HE down, bouncing off the wall. Actually going to do that. How much damage does that do? Ooh, that's chunky. 43 down for Magician, 71 for Glaive. You could not have asked for a better HE than that. And then these are the double nade combos that I was just mentioning in the round previously. Doesn't actually go for the Incendiary and the Smoke, instead just that Incendiary. That forces Glaive out into the open. And with a 5-on-4, the CTs have now got an option of re-aggressing towards Banana. Matsu gets re-mollied, so ends up just falling back. They keep pressing, though. And now flameZ's might be the one to actually get flashed in. Oh, lovely. First of all, does damage onto Magist. Doesn't finish it off with a kill because he gets back to behind safety. But then even follows up the spray on towards Device. And he's not greedy. He knows that they've got a 5-on-4. They've now got themselves a 5-on-3. Don't need any more than that. Resmoke come down towards the top of Banana position. Hold on to a 2-man advantage. It gets so blind. But checks out long, doesn't see anything. Creating himself a really big off angle. Like, look at this position. Like, he's not playing in Arch, but he's playing outside of it towards the left-hand side. Maybe try and work with the shadow, actually, from the T side if they just shoulder bait. Or try and shoulder bait. Very slow. If he can get a one-on-one trade there, this could be great. Sees that shadow. Still gets a kill. He knows straight away, as soon as he gets baited out, he's got to try and get to safety. And rather than just trying to get his knife out and go back into Arch, committing to the fight and trying to fall back as well is his best shout. And he gets that one-on-one trade. And now for Bubsky, like 1 versus 3, this is just not going to happen. OG have got the perfect chance of being able to close Inferno in a really convincing fashion. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the AWP is even holding the angle, and there it is, 16-7 to come through for the OG side. flameZ having a performance of 11 kills, 3 deaths, having really high utility damage. And that probably came through in the second half more so than the first, but overall, certainly for flameZ, like, impressive. I think that in terms of a role, we now know where he stands, at least on Inferno. Whether that transitions over to other maps as well, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for him in particular. But we know that he's a little bit more of an entry fragger, or the second entry in towards the side. Can be supportive at time, and trying to set his teammates up with a little bit of utility. But just being very disciplined is something that I really loved to see from him today. Be anchor on City side as well on Inferno. And for flameZ, for him to be on debut for his first map with OG, I thought he played a really good game, and I'm really keen to see what more success that they're going to find. I'll probably get this YouTube video up, hopefully, in a couple of days, so in case you guys are watching the YouTube video and you wonder where all of this is coming from, twitch.tv/Dweg is the Twitch channel, where we do have live streams, hopefully, very, very regularly, and going forward, I want to try and make it as much of a weekly thing as possible, and try and get back onto the YouTube uploading schedule, if I can as well. But that's going to be it for the video today. Many thanks for all of the support and all of the views recently. Hope you really enjoyed the flameZ video today, and if you've got any players you want me to have a look at, maybe a demo as well, put it down in the comments section. Maybe try and tweet at me at DwegCSGO, and I'm sure I'm going to read it. But until then, cheers for watching. I'll see you later.